Hey, how's it going? If you're new here, my name is Jan and I love makeup. And if you're not new, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate you. So today's video is just playing with some of my high-end makeup and some that's not, but I think that it's as good as. Wasn't feeling so great, decided I was gonna try this and see if it helped. It has, I feel, so much better. So I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you do. I appreciate your support. Okay, so I'm just gonna jump right in. Not every single thing I have is high-end. For instance, I don't have a high-end concealer that I can use for both my eyelids and my under eyes. So I'm going in with the Wet n Wild, which is the extreme opposite of high-end. But when it's good, it's good. So in this case, I'm going to give the Wet n Wild Incognito Concealer high-end status because it works so well for me. So I'm just gonna blend that on my eyes like I normally do, and then we're gonna go in with some Natasha Denona eyeshadows. Okay, that's all dried and looking great. I'm gonna go in with my Natasha Denona Mini Zendo palette. Haven't used this yet, and I'm having a bit of a day. I'm struggling a little bit. Nothing serious, I'm not complaining. I just decided that instead of feeling crappy, I'm going to play makeups and see if I can't jostle myself out of this terribly pissy mood I'm in. Okay, I feel like it's worth noting that that shade, it's the lightest one in the palette, has some decent pigment, and it took me about 15 seconds to blend that out. So that's pretty darn cool. Now I'm gonna go in with this end shade over here on this end and work that just a little lower in my crease for some definition. These are just amazing. They blend out so easily. That's it, it's done. Man, that was way too easy. Now there's 3 more shades in here. There's this dark purpley one, the greenish silver one, and then the peachy pinky one. I think I want to put all of them on my eye. I'm gonna go in the opposite order I normally do. I'm gonna do my inner corner, the middle of my lid, and then my outer, starting with the lightest shade and working my way up to the darkest shade on my way out. So pretty. Now the pinky peach shade. Overlapping them a little bit, of course. I have no doubt that I could amp that up quite a bit if I dampened my brush, but I don't think I'm going to today. I think I'm gonna keep it just like it is. Okay, that's the eyes done. That took no time at all. I just overlapped those 3 shimmery shades on my lid and up into my crease a little bit. I think it looks good. I think it looks a little wonky with my face undone, but we'll get there. For foundation today, I'm gonna go with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. This is a sample shade I got last fall, and I think I'm finally tan enough to wear it again, so that's what we're doing today. Here we go. Just gonna pat that in all over. I do really like this foundation. I think it's beautiful. Lasts really well. Covers up most of the yuck without any problem. Just gonna drag that down my neck. It's blends in. If this is your first video, my skin on the rest of my body is much tanner than on my face, so I gotta go with a darker foundation. I'm not gonna worry about my ears. I'm gonna wear my hair down once I get done doing my face, so you won't even see them. I really like this foundation a lot. Make sure I get it in the hairline enough. But again, wearing my hair down, so you won't be able to tell. I think I usually forget to mention this, but the shade of the foundation in the Charlotte Tilbury is 6 Warm, and the concealer is light beige, and that's still the Wet n Wild Mega Last Incognito. I know it's not high end, but it works so incredibly well for me that I'm letting it pretend it's better than it. Well, I'm giving it what it deserves. It's so good. I'm gonna go with my Rare Beauty concealer brush and just pat that in under my eyes. Making sure to drag it up. I'm gonna go in with my sponge and blend out the rest of this. Just make sure it's blended out here. And then under my eyes, just to make sure there's no excess product. I'm gonna set my face with my Nakia Joy, what is this called? Velvet Finishing Powder. Love this stuff. I was gonna wait to open up the Nakia Joy powder until after I got done with the Laura Mercier translucent powder, but this one is just, in my opinion, better than the Laura Mercier. I had actually gotten this powder years ago, like when she first came out with it. And then everybody was raving about the Laura Mercier, and finally I thought, well, I should try that. You know, it gets a lot of praise on the YouTubes, but this is a far superior setting powder as far as I'm concerned. And Nakia is adorable. Okie dokie. For contour and bronzer, I'm gonna go in with the Hourglass Ambient Diffused Bronze Light. For my contour, this is pretty much what I always use, so it's not really a big change. I may have to branch out a bit when it comes to contour and bronzer, but I just haven't yet. Maybe one of these days. I want to add just a bit up in here as well. And of course my lower lip. And I just saw this trick and have been loving it. Just a little contour in the Cupid's bow. Just gives it a little definition, and I am loving that. And then for bronzer, I'm gonna go with the Hourglass Radiant Bronze Light. This is a much warmer bronzer. And my new brush that I've been using for bronzer from Refer, it's the number 22 giant face brush. Oh, it's amazing. I was trying to remember if I have any face brushes that I love. And I don't have any that I just love until I got this one. This I love. This brush is beautiful. Absolutely stunning. I completely see what everyone is raving about. Gorgeous. I'm gonna take a little bit of that down my neck. Because my neck and my face don't see sunshine. So we gotta fake it with the makeup. And for blush, I chose out another Hourglass product. I don't promote Hourglass because I think that they aren't doing a very good job with inclusivity, but I already own these products and I do really like them. I won't buy any more until they get their shiz together, but I'm gonna go with that middle pink shade. It's Blush Luminous Glow, so that's what that is. And I got this Rephr brush, which I'm also really loving. It's so pretty, it applies beautifully. It's just, what a difference. That's all I can say. I don't want to be that guy, but these brushes, just like that Wet n Wild concealer, deserves the recognition. It applies beautifully, it feels lovely, no complaints. And for highlighter, I'm gonna go in with my ABH Amrezy highlighter. I've had this for a very long time. It's beautiful. One of my first higher end purchases. I had very serious FOMO about it, and I didn't even know what FOMO was back then. And I managed to get it. It's not available anymore, but it's stunning. And I'm gonna go in with that same highlighter on my inner corner. Under my brow. It's just so pretty. I think I'm gonna take this shade here under my entire lash line, and then a little bit of this one and the pinky or peachy one under the inner and outer. I'm gonna take that darker shade right up close to my lash line on the outer parts of my lower lashes. I'm gonna take that pinky peach shade on the inner. I think I'm gonna add a bit more of that darker shade with this brush, just to add a little more definition on that outer corner. I like that. I'm gonna take my Milk Makeup eyeliner in the shade CEO, which is this really nice chocolate brown, which is no longer available either, and line my waterline. So I'm going to type line with that, do my waterline, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to set all these powders down with a setting spray. I'm going to go with my Morphe one. It's just what I have handy. And then off camera, I'm going to do eyeliner, which I just chose out my Wet n Wild Breakup Proof liquid liner. It's one of 2 liquid liners I have right now. So again, not high end, but it's supposed to be that good. And then I'm gonna go in with my Demi Wispy lashes and my duo glue. And then I'll come back and we'll finish up with brows and lips. Okay, so for brows, I'm gonna go in with my ABH Brow Freeze. I am loving this stuff so much. There is a bit of a learning curve, so I haven't mastered it completely, but I do like what it does for my brows. So I go in with it, I scrape a little bit off on this rubber spatula, for lack of a better term, and then I smear it on the lid, which sounds truly disgusting, but it's clean. And then I just run my spoolie through it and then comb it into my brows. And I really like how it works. It is a bit tricky in that my face makeup is already done, so I do have to be a little bit careful about getting it on my makeup. But I love the sticky uppiness of it all. I'm gonna have to trim them at some point here, and then you take the other end and just flatten it. Oh, there's not quite enough there. I have very lazy eyebrows. They just wanna take a nappy poo. The difference is just stunning. And then after I get this all worked in, I can go in and fill in all the bits that need it with a pencil. I'm gonna have to trim them at some point, but I wanna make sure I master how to use the brow freeze before I start whacking off my eyebrows. These aren't high-end brow products. I like both the L'Oreal Paris Brow Stylist Definer and the Ulta Beauty Ultra Slim Brow Pencil. I have them both in dark brown. The Ulta one is slightly lighter and warmer, and the L'Oreal one is slightly darker and cooler. So, as nuttily as I am, I use the darker one in the tail and kind of the bottom part of my brow, and then I use the lighter one up in here. So I'm just gonna go in, and because I have a scar right here, I have to actually add on the tail because it doesn't grow anymore. And like I said, I'm still learning, playing, trying to figure it all out. But the only way to do that is to just do it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna finish up the other brow and I'll be back. Okay, now I'm gonna go with the lighter brown and fill in the front of my brow. Before I discovered the brow freeze, I would just kind of like draw this part in. But once the brow freeze is in my brows, I can't really do that. So now it's just kind of faking brow hairs. I think that's as good as I'm gonna get it for now. I think I may even, in the very near future, invest in one of the brow marker type brow products, because then you can draw very thin brow hairs that look realistic. So yeah, it's not perfect, but I'm gonna keep practicing. I'll eventually get the hang of it. It's very new. I do still very much like the e.l.f. Wow Brow for not this. If I figure out how to use a tinted gel and this, that would be ideal, but that's gonna take me a minute. Okay, for lips, Again, not high-end, but very, very good. It's the NYX Professional Makeup Retractable Lip Liner. And I'm using the shade Nude Pink because for a lip, I finally busted out my Ciate London Glitter Flip in Valentine. So I think these will be cute. So I'm gonna line my lips. Okay, so that's the lips lined, and I'm gonna go in with this Ciate London lipstick. This one's super fun because you apply it, let it dry, and then smack your lips together and it makes it glittery. Okay, so I'm gonna let that dry, and then we'll do the smooshing. Okay, I'm pretty sure my lips are dry, so let's see if we can catch it on camera. I think it's fun. It's not for everybody, and that's okay. I like it. I think it's a good time. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I need a little pick-me-up. Struggling. Nothing serious, just, you know, run-of-the-mill, feeling crappy. So I figured I had two options. I could stay in it and be miserable, or I could give my head a shake, slap on some makeup, and 9 times out of 10, that makes things feel less yucky. So that's what I opted to do today. It's not something you can do all the time, but when I can, it helps a lot. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share all the things. I super appreciate your support. Have a good day. Be good, and remember to be kind to you.